Hello guys, welcome to my first Krunker video. Today, we're going to talk about the top 5 things you should never do when you're in Krunker, alright? Now, Krunker's a game, very competitive, so if you want to be the best, right, you gotta know how to play. There's some things you want to not do while you're playing, and I'm going to show you those to you today. Alright, so when you're starting out, obviously, Krunker is a very movement-heavy game, you gotta be getting places, you gotta be getting around, So, the first thing that you would do is never walk, okay? You're always going to want to be bee-hopping, slide crouching, whatever you call it, going places. If you walk, you're so susceptible to the enemy, they're going to kill you, alright? So that's tip number 1. Alright, so tip number 2 in Krunker, things to never do, never be standing still, wide open, okay? The enemies, they're always around you. They're going to pick you off here and there. If you're not moving, or you're not behind cover, okay, you're screwed, alright? That's all I gotta say about that one. Alright, so for thing 3 to never do in Krunker, there's a lot of good players, especially when you're starting out, you're not gonna be able to kill them. So what I would suggest doing, or not doing, specifically in this next tip, is never try to queue into my lobby, alright? If you're a new player starting out, you just don't want to be killed over and over again. You're gonna want to get in lobbies, with some players around your skill, So just don't try queuing into my lobbies. That's a good tip. Alright, so for thing 4 to never do in Krunker, we're going to come over to this tab here, which we can get to by pressing find game or host game, and you're going to click on public. Now, as you see, there's many servers. There's going to be some that are near you, and then some that aren't even on this earth, like Silicon Valley. And you may notice these 3 bars. Now, this goes from green to yellow to red, and green is the best ping you want to be on, where you're fastest, yellow is mid, and red is bad. So you may experience higher levels of annoyance when playing on higher ping because you're not near the servers that the game is hosted on. So you never want to queue on red servers, and sometimes mostly not even yellow servers unless you have really good internet. Alright, so for my last tip, guys, the last thing you never want to do in Krunker is you never want to use the Trooper class, okay? The Blaster is allowed and ranked among other classes, but it's just not good, guys. So the damage output is usually pretty bad, so unless you're really good at the game, you're not really going to be making use of that Blaster class. So what I would suggest playing instead is SMG, AK, or FAMAS. I prefer these all more as a veteran player, so you can take it from me. Finally, guys, thank you for watching so much. It's my first video on the channel, but those are 5 things to never do in Krunker. So if you enjoyed, make sure you like my video and subscribe to my channel, because I'll be posting more. Anyways, I'll see ya.